Welcome to From the Backseat. I am your host, Ethan Haas, and thank you for listening. And thank you to our sponsor of the show, SeatGeek. So, Clark, how are you feeling today?
Feeling pretty good. I just realized right now that we're kind of like color coordinated. I didn't plan this. You have the Chargers yellow, like blue on. I share the yellow with the Nike sweatshirt. Again, is that bootlicking for Dean Spanos? I don't do that. I'm not a Chargers fan these days, but either way, great matching job by us. Excited to get into today.
Yeah, excited to get into the show. So, today is our usual interview show, but today we decided to switch things up. So, Clark and I are going to be doing a top five list, which we are returning to after maybe like
A
a
couple,
month absent after this
yeah.
point.
I feel
It's
like
been a
we started off
while.
with we did ranking videos for I feel like a good chunk of time there, but then just now as time's got on, we kind of faded away from that a little bit. I feel like we were trying to do at one point like a whole ranking of every NFL position, but I feel like it's a saturated thing to go to. But I like going back to rankings. Rankings are fun, so this is always a good
Yeah,
one.
rankings are fun. At some point, we'll do like a big NFL primer episode where we'll
Yeah,
probably talk about rankings.
like
We'll talk
wait.
about who we think's winning, stuff like that.
Yeah, I would assume. I think the stuff that we're gonna be doing for like our predictions and stuff would wait till like week three, maybe after week three of the preseason when everyone's like
Yeah,
settled pretty much. Well, actually, no, they only do 3 weeks now, right?
they only do 3 weeks. Four right now. We're four
Yeah,
weeks
so
out from the
then
start of the season.
like 2 weeks out from the season, maybe we'll go around and
Yeah,
hash everything out.
for sure. We'll figure it out. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being a part of the show. And of course, thank you to SeatGeek. SeatGeek makes the ticketing process just so much easier. SeatGeek is an app that you can download on your phone and it gives you a basically a color of how good of a seat it is. It uses green, yellow, and red to give you an indicator of how good a seat that you got. So when you go onto the app, it's super easy, very convenient game you want to. Like Clark and I are going to the Padres Dodgers game up in LA on Saturday. If you just put in that game, you'd be able to find the best tickets. Use the green indicator, you'll get the best price. And the best part of it all is if this is your first time using the app, you can get $20 off using our promo code from the backseat. So again, use the promo code from the backseat for $20 off your first order. So let's get into the show for today. So our show is going to break down into three separate stories. The first one is we're doing top five minor league affiliates. So Clark
Lovely.
and I have ripped into our bag of new content that we didn't see people doing. And Clark and I want to talk about the funniest minor league affiliates, not the best franchises in minor
Just
league,
the ones we like.
just the ones that we like, that make us laugh, that we kind of question why they exist and what they're supposed to be. So we will be doing that. Then we're going to get into a would you rather section. So Clark and I are always doing things that we used to do around the middle school table. And so we're reaching into would you rather. I will have one player and then I will ask Clark a bunch of other players. Would he rather have that player on his team than whoever else? And then last, we're going to go into dumb takes of the week. Clark and I have been just on the internet looking for the dumbest, and we're going to discuss what those are. Not our takes, other people's. So, Clark, what are you most excited for?
I'm actually really most excited for the rankings that we have coming up first with the minor league teams. I think this is a fun thing to do, but I'm excited for the whole show. I'm excited for it all. So I'm ready to delve right into it, like I said. So,
Of
but
course.
definitely excited most for the minor league rankings for sure.
So, I'm going to start us off with our rankings just because I kind of overdid it. I ended up ranking 8 teams just because I just kept on finding these really funny ones that were making me laugh. So, I'm going to just basically just rip off the first 3 and explain why, and then we'll get in the top 5 and Clark will start us with number 5. So the shout out I want to give, because they're not a minor league affiliate anymore, they're technically a part of like some amateur league now, is I went to school at Elon University in North Carolina, and that is in the town of Burlington. And when I was there, the minor league team was the Burlington Royals. It was the rookie affiliate to the Royals. Eric Hosmer came through there. Will Myers came through there. All great Padres. Um, and so once I left college, they actually rebranded into the Burlington Sock Puppets. And they renamed their stadium Socksville in the middle of Burlington, North Carolina, which is just this really small town in the South. And so their stadium is Socksville. And they built this entire story with the 2 sock puppets on their logo, where one sock puppet is the dad and the other is the son. and they do like shows during the stadium, but it's no longer a minor league affiliate, so I wasn't able to put it on my list.
Sadly, yes, they are an independent ball team, I think now.
Yeah, they're an independent ball team. They're technically not an affiliate anymore, but they
Unfortunate.
were fun.
But still a
They used
solid
to
name nonetheless.
the sock puppets. Yeah, they used to have Dollar Mondays back in college. Went one time. It was
Should have
pretty
gone more
fun.
than that. Should have gone only one time when you're in college.
Well,
What the heck?
it's because they're rookie affiliates, so they only play from June to August. So like it
That's
was
true.
it was just like the last couple days. Like they really didn't play that much.
What a
But that
shame.
but that stadium was the spot. If you were gonna buy anything off Facebook Marketplace, that's where you meet up with the Burlington people to get your stuff.
Just get your stuff. Not a bad meetup. The drop spot.
All right, so I'm gonna rip through these last two, and then we'll get into top five list. So my number 7 on the list, we can call a double honorable mention, is the Fort Wayne Tin Caps, which is the single A. Their mascot is just really silly. It's an apple wearing basically a pot. It's just
It's
funny. It doesn't
fun.
really
It's a
make
good one to
sense.
look
Yeah, it's
at.
funny. Yeah, it's fun. Number 6 is the Modesto Nuts. This one is just another silly thing. It's just a bunch of nuts on a logo. I assume they get into a lot of issues and a lot of people make a lot of jokes about their name, but I thought that one was silly.
That is a good one. I kind of like. I guess I'll give an honorable mention for mine too. I believe it's the Albuquerque Isotopes.
That
I
is one,
enjoyed that
yeah.
one. I do enjoy that one quite a bit. That would be like my number 6 one for that. I think it's pretty creative play on it. Big fan. Always like to play on words for it. So
All right, so let's get into our top 5 list. Clark, what is your number 5 team?
yeah. So my number 5. I will say this before going into it. All of mine except for one came from the Double A area of the minor leagues. I think Double A for them, the
Oh, no
champions
way.
of a
I didn't
creative
even
name.
realize that. You're right. 4 out of my 5 are double A affiliates.
4 of my 5 are Double A too. So for my first one, I have the Binghamton Rumble Ponies. They used to be the Binghamton Mets. People forget that, but they are now the Binghamton Rumble Ponies. Iconic little mascot there on the front, a dumb little pony. But again, I think, what a creative little stupid name. The Rumble Ponies, dude, just mobbing in there. I'm sure nights there have a solid 500 people, but what a classy little name for them. That'd be my number 5.
So it's funny. So Kelly was watching me make my list,
Oh.
and I was like looking through all the names, and she really wanted me to put that one.
Oh, I should have listened to Kelly. She knows what
I
she's
should have.
talking
If
about.
you're just listening along, I'm sorry, I'm about to show to the screen. There is this really funny picture of like the horse standing up with a. Oh, I can't find it now. When I was looking at it earlier, oh, it's this. Like, it's like a merry-go-round
It's a
pony, but
merry-go-round. Yes, it's
with
the
like a
Rumble Pony.
gladiator outfit on.
It's very intimidating. If you show up to play the Rumble Ponies, be scared, be afraid. It could get ugly.
Yeah. Oh, this is the one. This something about this is so funny.
I hope they use it as an alternate. I hope that's one of their alternates, if anything. The Rumble Ponies, that's great, dude. Oh, God, what
It's
a
a little
name.
like pony with boxing gloves on and like a caveman mace. And it has
It's
a heavyweight
fantastic.
belt on.
Just letting everyone know.
All right. My number 5 is the Akron Rubber Ducks.
That's a good one.
And the reason I went with this is because they tried to make the Rubber Ducks intimidating. So if you look up the logo, they tried to make it like
Frowning.
rubber, like racetrack.
Hmm.
So it's this like duck that's like racing on a street. So they're trying to make rubber ducks intimidating, which just doesn't work. That a rubber duck is such a silly thing. Like there is no way you can make a rubber duck intimidating. So I mean, A for effort, but just rolling up as the double A affiliate for the Cleveland Guardians and having Mike Clevenger wear your jersey is just so ironically funny.
To go on for sure. I do like that one. I'm a big fan of that one. It's also a very solid one. But
All right,
not one
what's
that I
your
had on
number?
my list. Not one I had on my list.
Okay, what's your number 4?
My number 4, again, Double A affiliate for the Colorado Rockies, the Hatford Yard Goats.
I
Um,
thought about this one.
that is a good one. I think the mascot is creative. I think him biting on what is supposed to be like looking a picket fence, but it's a wood bat, gives me a chuckle or two in there, perhaps. Again, I just think it's a creative thing that just goes through there. I'm a big fan of it.
That's a good one. All right. So my number 4 is the All Merino Sod Poodles. So
Great one.
if you don't know what this is, they used to be a minor league affiliate of the San Diego Padres. Now they're the Double A affiliate for the Arizona Diamondbacks. And so basically what a sod poodle is it's like a little gopher thing. And in the picture, they like wear hats and like try to look intimidating, but it's another thing. It's like seeing a groundhog try to be intimidating. Just I think what I really gravitated to in this list is all of these teams trying to be intimidating, but like the animal they pick just isn't. Like there's no way to make that thing intimidating. And so looking at this, and then the color scheme is also kind of funny. It's like a light blue, light yellow kind of thing. It's kind of like the City Connect uniforms for the Padres a
Hmm.
little bit without the green. Um, yeah, I just think this one is just funny. I
I
don't
think
know
it's a great
why.
one.
It's a
Saw
good one.
Poodle is a fantastic one. Absolutely great.
All right, what's number 3?
So my number three, I go out to the Double A affiliate for I believe it's the Los Angeles Dodgers, the Rocket City Trash Pandas. I'm a
Oh,
big
we have
fan of
crossover.
yeah, Rocket City Trash Pandas is absolutely fantastic. The little
They're the
raccoon
Angels.
the Angels, my bad. The Angels, with little like first off, raccoons, fantastic little creature of all of them. I mean, truthfully, of all the varmints that are out there, little guys that wander around, the raccoon has to be the most adorable. And the fact that it's just in a launching trash can that has a rocket attached to it, great logo. Can't beat that. Seriously, it's like so good. It's unbelievable. So tip of the cap. Also, one of my former high school coaches, Nate Leeser, works the Rocket City Trash Pandas. So shout out.
Oh, is that really true?
Yeah, he works there for him.
That's pretty cool. All right, my number 3 is the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp.
That's yeah.
The Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp is again one that is just so funny. And when you look at the logo, it's not going to quite focus, but it's like a buff shrimp going through
It's
again, like
great.
yeah, and it takes place in Jacksonville, and it is the AAA affiliate of the Marlins. So this is my one non-double A one. Sometimes I just wonder when you're going up in the league and you have to play for the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp, like what are you
Wear it as a badge
thinking?
of honor. How could you not wear it as a badge of honor? You were a member of the illustrious alumni of Jumbo Shrimp members. The Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp, dude. I can't even. It's messing me
Jacksonville
up trying to
Jumbo
say it.
Shrimp.
Jumbo Shrimp
The
is freaking
Jumbo Shrimp.
iconic.
No, it's great.
If you ever grace the halls of the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp facility, consider yourself a lucky one. Not many do.
The other thing about the Jumbo Shrimp that I think is really funny is the font they use is horrendous.
Oh yeah.
Like it is so bad. It looks so bad on the uniforms. I don't know why they picked this. It's like it's two-toned. The
I know it's
numbers
not
look
great.
horrible on this thing. The color scheme is a dark red with a dark blue, which definitely clash. And this team is just so funny. I mean, the Jumbo Shrimp, and then their mask guy walking around in a shrimp costume.
Unbelievable.
You're
It's
just,
fantastic. You can't beat it.
I
You can't
mean,
beat it.
to be fair, it is perfect for Jacksonville. I feel like it
Well,
is the perfect affiliate for the city of Jacksonville.
it's pretty solid. Spot on for him. It's on the nose. It's good. It's classy.
It's
Tight.
classy.
Elite. It's what you look for, truthfully.
It's seriously what you look for. All right,
It's
what's your
what you
number 2?
desire to ever. Yeah, so my number two goes out to the single A affiliate of the Oakland Athletics, the Lansing Lugnuts. I think that is top grade A. First off, Lansing, Michigan, lug nuts. Lug nuts are used, I believe, for helping construct cars somewhere along the way. Great play on words. Also, the lug nut on there has like a snaggletooth on it and looks slightly disheveled and gross. Great logo. Color scheme is pretty just okay, but again, Lansing lug nuts, sucker for it. Great mascot, great team name. Got it at my number two.
All right, well, that's a good one. So my number 2 is one you've already said. This is our part, which is the Rocket City Trash Pandas. I mean,
Yeah,
just
great.
a little panda bear off in a rocket is so funny. Like
It's hilarious.
one thing I wonder about these teams is like, what do they all use one graphic designer? Because a lot of the graphics look exactly the
Look
same.
exactly the same.
They identical, and they're in like the same like cartoony mold. Like the
Well, I think
Savannah
it's because they all
Banana is
like
the
Major
same
League
way.
Baseballs is all the same like fonting and stuff like that, and it's like minor league baseball, so they all have the same kind of designing stuff for it. I'm sure.
Yeah, you're probably right. It's just weird when you see all of the logos together and they just all look identical, but they're just
Yeah,
different animals. I mean, some of these I'm just like, who came up with the idea of we're gonna make our thing a raccoon, but it's actually gonna be a trash panda, and it's gonna be a
it's
panda
great.
taking off in a rocket ship,
It's great. It's what you asked for. That's
and it's
great.
just
Whoever
blowing
freaking came up with that, give them a raise, man.
the
What a
trash panda.
fantastic choice.
So funny. Just the idea that Mike Trout had to be a trash panda for a while is just so fun. It almost
Potentially,
feels
I don't
like
know. Did he ever have to be? Was he ever a trash panda?
I don't know if
Because they
I don't
switch
know if they ever
affiliates, teams switch affiliates, so I don't
they
know.
do. I don't know if they switched affiliates. I mean, what's even funnier about the Trash Panda is their real life mascot. They like actually have a raccoon in a trash can, and kids go and take like pictures with
Yeah,
it.
good. That's iconic. Yes, they should. If I ever took my kid to a, where even the hell, like Rocket City,
Oh.
trash, I would freaking take them to that.
This is their alternate logo, which is the panda after it's
Yeah,
landed on the
good, because it
moon.
just landed, because it just conquered space. The trash panda, elite. Nothing better.
All right, let's get into our number one. What is your number one,
No,
Clark?
I mean, my number one, you already mentioned it. I had it as a Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp. I think that's
Oh, okay.
easily the best one that there is out there. I think the logo is hysterical. I think just the idea that, again, you go out there and it's like, oh, like if you were a guy on one of those teams at a bar, say you're single, you're in AAA, and they're like, oh, who do you play for? You say you're a professional baseball player, and you say, oh, I play for the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp currently right now. You may have heard of them. We have the most ridiculous looking mascot there possibly could be imagined in minor league baseball. Would you like my number? I think that idea of that conversation existing is fantastic. And again, I think overall, the uniform, the logo of the massive shrimp, just the fact that it's a shrimp is great. You can't beat a
It's
shrimp.
yeah, it's so funny.
So that's my number one.
Totally fair. I mean, we already talked about it, but I think that one is so good.
Yeah, so good.
All right, mentioned, and this was the only one. Like I when I saw it, it had to be number one, and that's the Montgomery Biscuits.
Oh
This
yeah,
this is the
the big,
mascot
that's
of the
great. Yeah,
Montgomery
the
Biscuit. It's a
Montgomery
little
biscuits are
biscuit
great.
with butter in his mouth, and he has like weird hands. But what's even better is that is like the logo mascot. The actual mascot in the stadium is an orange elephant.
That's great. I love it. The Montgomery Biscuits is an all-timer. I always think it looks like some sort of with the dumb eyes, like the big googly eyes on the biscuit. It
Yeah.
looks like it, like I was thinking it belongs on like Elmo or something like that.
Well, it looks like the clam from the SpongeBob movie. If you
Yes.
remember at the end in
Well,
what's that
they
called?
got captured by the big the
What's it
guy who was
called?
underwater basically. Before
Yeah,
David
Salt
Hasselhoff
City.
saves them, before David
Yeah.
Hasselhoff gets them out.
I mean, again, if you were on the biscuits and you have to trot out there every night in this
Oh,
hat, how do you feel?
I mean, I think the great thing about the biscuits hat, like I always feel like that hat, especially because it's orange, would just make your head look massive too. It would just look. How would you ever walk out to be like, oh yeah, I'm feeling myself today. My game day fit is just fire,
Like,
and
look at this guy.
iconic. Like, there's good
Just
ones out
iconic.
there. It's like, like, oh, if I play for the Durham Bulls, like, okay, I would feel okay. If I play for the Lake Elsinore Storm, maybe a little bit better. No, we're playing out here. I'm a Monterey biscuit. I have a biscuit with butter in its mouth on my head with googly eyes. Tough sell, but it's
Absolute
great.
tough
It's
stuff.
fantastic.
Well, and then on a different note, it's then like these minor league players get paid absolutely nothing, and you have to trot out there as a Montgomery biscuit.
Exactly. It's like unbelievable. It's fantastic. It's just so good. Honestly, good marketing too, because it's funny. You get people to
Oh, it's
talk
super
about it.
funny.
I feel like it's why they
Yeah,
go with these obscure names, is so people talk about it.
yeah, I think it's to get hype and get people to the games, which I think works, but you just must feel so dumb being one of those players
We should
having to
actually one time, just because we have the minor league team, like we should do a game live from the Lake Elsinore Storm or something.
we should. The storm isn't that bad though.
No, the
Like
storm isn't that bad.
like we
No
need
one
one that's like
exciting is there
really
anymore.
embarrassing. I mean, there's like some inland there's like the Inland Empire 66 because of Route 6.
Yeah, but even
Out
then,
Mike
it's
San Bernardino.
it's weird, like, to me that I would think, like, for some of these AAA teams, like, I always say with AAA, I don't know why you wouldn't have it as close as possible, like, that you could to your actual major league team. Because, like, what if you need to call someone up? It's usually from AAA. Like,
Yeah.
the Dodgers is in Oklahoma City.
I mean,
The
again, the
Padres in El
Padres,
Paso.
the El Paso Chihuahuas, that's another
That's a
bad
good
one.
one. That's like a bad one. That one stinks. I actually think the El Paso Chihuahuas is a joke. I don't like that one.
I don't like that one either. It's not threatening. It's not funny. It's just weird.
The stadium always looks cool, though. It's a bang box. I could get a couple of nukes out there if I wanted to.
You could. All right. Is there anything else you want to say about some minor
That
league
no,
teams?
I am satisfied with that. I think our lists were very strong.
I think we had some good lists. All right. So let's get into Would You Rather. So we're
Let's
doing Would
go.
You Rather wide receiver edition. So what is going to happen is I have a player, and I will tell you the player now. It's CeeDee Lamb. So I have
Mm.
a list of 12 other wide receivers, and Clark is going to say whether he would have CD or the player I tell him. So we are going to kind of make an impromptu wide receiver list based on where Clark is putting CeeDee Lamb kind of. So, Clark, are you ready?
1 second. Just
Are you
pulling up a
pulling
stat
up?
line. I'm just pulling up a stat line.
Oh, that's fine. I'll talk
I
for a
am
little
ready
bit.
now, though. I am ready now.
Okay. So, would you rather, and this is going into next season.
Yep.
So, let's say you were building a team, you're the GM of a new fantasy draft. CeeDee Lamp is on the board, and these 12 other wide receivers are on the board.
Mm-hmm.
So, would you rather CeeDee Lamp or Keenan Allen?
CD Lamb. Going into, I think CD Lamb is younger. I think he's got true number one right now stuff right now. As we've discussed, I see Keenan Allen on a decline. I think in terms of playmaking ability, I would take more of what CD has to offer at this point. Definitely more run after the catch too, which is huge. Keenan, I love him, great guy. Again, I think he's on the downcline a little bit though. So yeah, I take CD Lamb.
So, before we move on, speaking of Keenan Allen, did you see that video from Chargers training camp of where he made fun of Russell Wilson?
No, about the let's ride.
Yeah, he just kept
Everyone's
saying
making
"Let's."
fun of let's ride, man.
Everyone's making fun of Let's Ride. He deserves it. Russell Wilson might be the corniest person on the
Yeah,
internet.
like there was some other quote that, I mean, we won't talk about it too much, but like the quote that he was like, someone asked him like, "Oh, how much you putting in?" He's like, "Oh, I put the max effort and then times it by 3." Like, okay, dude, that's sick. Like, why are you telling? Like, I don't care, but thank you. Just like such a hardo unnecessarily. It's very cringe.
He's super cringe. He's just so corny all the time. Like that weird video he posted from like the Colorado Rockies where he did that like stepping thing and then he was with Peyton Manning in a Colorado Rockies jersey to announce he's going to Denver.
Yeah,
He's so corny. But
whatever.
you ready for the next one?
Yes.
All right, CD Lamb or
Mm. Oh my, that is tough. Um, Terry
yep.
McLaurin. I would take Terry. I would
Oh,
take Scary Terry.
okay,
I
scary
think
Terry.
to me, like scary Terry has been like he has no one throwing him the football, and he puts up numbers every time. So I'm
Yeah.
saying the situation, if I'm taking a guy, I want someone who I know, no matter what the circumstance, is going to get fantastic production out of him. Terry McLaurin for me.
Okay. Would you rather CD Lamp or Mike Evans?
This is tough because Mike Evans has clearly had a great career, slowing down a little bit. I would take CD Lamb. I take CD Lamb going into this year.
Oh yeah.
Well, I
Really?
mean, again, we're answering this going into just for 1 year, or is it
Just
like
for 1 year? No, just for
just for
1
one?
year.
Okay, if I'm just having him for 1 year, then I'd rather have Mike Evans.
Okay. Any reason why? Or you just
No, I
good with
mean, I
that?
think if we're just doing it for 1 year, Mike Evans' ability is proven year in and year out to be a consistent playmaker overall. He doesn't show any signs of slowing down. I mean, he just toasted Ramsey the last time we saw him on the football field. So he's
Yeah.
still at CB12 with him. I would take Mike Evans.
All right. Would you rather CD Lamp or DJ Moore?
Hmm. CD Lamb. I think I would rather
Oh,
CD
really?
Lamb. Yeah, I think I'd
Really?
rather have CD Lamb. I like DJ Moore. I think there's more that jumps out to me though when I watch CD Lamb. I know it's an unfair thing because again, DJ Moore hasn't had anything to go with, but I think overall CD Lamb's number one playmaking ability stands out a little more to me.
So then, would you rather Scary Terry or DJ Moore?
I'd rather Terry McLaurin.
Okay, I just wanted to see how you're
No,
feeling.
I would rather Terry. I think Terry is like just outside of top tens. I think he has one of the best. I think he's some of the best hands of football for sure. His ability to adjust to a football is second to none. So,
all right. Would you rather CD Lamb or T Higgins?
this is really tough because I think these guys are. If you look at stats neck and neck, they could not be any more similar caliber wide receivers in terms of what they put up. They are certainly two different receivers. CD has definitely more run after the catch, but T's a better high point contested. T Higgins. I'd rather have T Higgins.
Really?
I'd rather have T Higgins.
No, really? You're that high on T Higgins?
I think T is the number one receiver for half the NFL if he's not on the Bengals.
Same as CD Lamb.
CD Lamb is the number one. Like Cowboys right now.
I know he is the number one, but I'm saying he would also be the number one on half the teams in the NFL.
I still think I would prefer T. I think T teed up to be more consistently moved. More get in the contested, the ability. I mean, not that they both can't stretch. I just tend to like T Higgins a little more. I think his hands are better too. Catch wise, I would take T Higgins over CD Lamb. It's not like it's not close. These are very.
Yeah. Would you rather CD Lamb or Mike Williams?
I would rather CD Lamb over Mike Williams. For sure. Mike Williams is great, but I think Mike Williams to some extent is a one-trick pony.
I totally understand. I mean, I feel the same way. So
I mean, it feels really, really well, but there's not a lot of times where you see Mike Williams catch a ball and go for yak.
No. All right. Would you rather CD Lamb or DK Metcalf?
Ooh. Nasty. Again, another guy, big body, straight end speed, unbelievable. Hugely. I would take DK Metcalf over CD Lamb.
Okay.
I think there's more physically that I like about DK. Again, I know you a big 9 receiver route guy, you know, shimmy in space, but I think I like the physicality combined with his ability to go deep and outrun just about anyone. So I think I would go with DK.
I totally understand that. All right, next up. Would you rather CD Lamb or Deontay Johnson?
Deontay Johnson. I would rather Deontay.
Really?
Deontay Johnson is either 10 or 11 on 10 wide receivers in the NFL. I really like Deontay Johnson. Yeah, I would put Deontay in my top 10. I think he's 10 or 11 for me, probably.
All right, well then let's. No, he's not. He's not in my. He's not in my top.
I think people people always focus on the number. Yeah, but I think if you look at it, he was again really, really good. He limited the drops again this year. He evolved as a wide receiver and further. I really like what Deontay Johnson brings. I think he's a 10 or 11 receiver in the NFL overall.
Wow, he's my number 17.
So yeah, I guess we just be
fair. I feel like his contract also probably said around the same thing. He did not get as much money as I would have expected.
He fired his agent. His agent's terrible.
He did not get as much money as I would have expected.
No, because he shouldn't have. Why did he even stay in Pittsburgh? What is Pittsburgh going to do? They don't have a pass.
Not only that. I mean, if they had paid him like AJ Brown or Deebo Samuel or whatever the other wide receivers in his class are getting paid right now, I think he would have been fine to stay in Pittsburgh. I don't get why he took less. He's barely getting paid more than Hunter Renfrow right now. Or not Hunter Renfrow. Yeah.
I don't know why I took the deal. I would have fired Deontay Johnson.
Yeah, that one's bad. I don't get that contract. All right, let's get back into would you rather. Would you rather CeeDee Lamb or Braden Cooks?
Yes. CeeDee Lamb for sure. I like Braden Cooks a lot. I think Braden Cooks is wildly underrated. I think he's had a great career. I would still certainly rather CD Lamb though overall.
All right, well that makes sense. Would you rather CD Lamp or Amari Cooper?
Mm-mm-mm. Two guys that played right next to each other for the last couple of years, last 2 years.
Two guys who played right next to each other.
I think he's easily the better route runner. Coop is one of the best route runners in the NFL when you watch.
Yeah.
God, it's so close. It really is. It really, really. Um, you know what? I would say Amari Cooper. I would rather have Amari Cooper. I think when they played at Dallas at the same time, I thought it was not pretty clear, but I Amari Cooper was the better receiver of the two.
All right. Next up, would you rather CD Lamp or Mike Thomas?
Oh, slam.
Yeah, you going with Slant Boy?
It's so hard with Mike Thomas because he hasn't played in so long now.
He is
But
really tough.
on the field, Mike lives up to the Twitter handle of can't guard Mike. He is insane in terms of receptions, the physicaling out everyone. I think I have to go with Mike Thomas. I know I haven't seen it, but I feel like how can I not? Is there? He's an absolute beast. He's a top 5 guy when he's healthy.
Yeah, I put him at number 11 right now on my list. But yeah, he's
Mike,
easy in top 5.
yeah, Mike to me, he's like the embodiment of like huge, dominating physical receiver, great hands, will bully just anyone. And again, he just finds a soft spot in the zone every time. He's a quarterback's dream.
All right, this is our last one. Would you rather CD Lamp or Jalen Waddle?
Or Jaden Waddle. Ooh, that's a good one. I like that one. Man, Jaden Waddle right here. Waddle was really good, and he
over 100 receptions.
Yeah, he didn't. And I feel like, oh man, oh, mm, really like Jalen Waddle. I really, really like Jalen Waddle. My fear is though, is he's just going to get used to run little RPO to see what really Jalen Waddle is. What? Let me look at Waddle's numbers really quick from last year. Oh, Jalen Waddle. Okay. Oh, God, 100%. Jalen Waddle or CeeDee Lamb? My goodness. Oh my goodness. This is the toughest one I think you may have said.
Oh, really?
One of them. Oh God. Give me CeeDee Lamb. I think CeeDee Lamb is better than. I would rather have CeeDee Lamb than Jalen Waddle. Give me CeeDee Lamb on that one.
All right. Well, so that has been Would You Rather CD Lamp edition. So if you guys like the segment, make sure to blow it up on TikTok. Make sure to listen to the episode. So we're going to get into our last segment of the day, which is dumb sports takes from this week. I have both prepared dumb sports take that we saw around the internet that we are going to share now. So Clark, how about you go first? What is one dumb sports take you saw on the internet this week?
Oh, I think it was probably courtesy of Colin Coward earlier this week, where he went on his show and said that the reason he thought these teams, like he was talking specifically in one point about the Padres and why West Coast teams in California were able to spend more money. It's because he said companies like Zoom and Netflix are out here, and because they've thrived during the pandemic, that more money. I don't know. Cross the wires, like boom, this is the reason now, like this is why they can spend more. Terrible take. I don't even know what in the world that was even possibly even in his mind, two things that could relate to one another, but good for Colin. That was the stupidest thing I've heard coming out of someone's mouth. It was ridiculous. That's terrible.
Yeah, that was really dumb. I don't even get what he's trying to like. What did companies being based here have to do with anything? Unless if I guess
it has nothing. It has literally nothing to do with it. It's just talking to talk. It's like I don't know. Like maybe it's his West Coast bias because he just shows out of LA. But I'm like, what are you even talking about? Doesn't
But I
make any
don't feel like that's
sense.
bias. I feel like that's just if you were biased, you'd just be like, yeah, these teams are good because they're good, not because Netflix is on the West Coast.
I know. I
Why does
don't think
Netflix
the
have to do
correlation of
anything?
Netflix making money, unless multiple teams are like Zoom, like every team in the West Coast is just invested in Zoom. They have major shareholdings, which I highly doubt. That's why. Yeah, but that was moronic. That was just imbecile like.
That one is pretty dumb. So my dumb sports take of the week is all of the people that say Deshaun Watson did not get charged criminally, so he should not get charged anyway by the NFL and does not deserve a suspension. That is just so stupid. Just because the grand jury did not find him criminally
Mm-hmm.
charged in about 99% of any sexual assault cases, the criminal is found not because there's usually not evidence of it. Just because he was found not criminally charged does not mean there was not wrongdoing. There were cases of over 60 different masseuses he went and contacted and visited, 25 of which filed lawsuits against him for absolute wrongdoing, and he has still not cleared all of those cases. The NFL is about to suspend Deshaun Watson for over a year because if you don't understand the suspension, basically the judge couldn't put more than 6 games because there was no precedent for it. The NFL then has to set the precedent. So basically, the judge is implying, based on the ruling, that Deshaun Watson should be suspended for over a year. And that's what Roger Goodell is about to do. He just went and got a huge lawyer to go build the case to just indefinitely suspend for Deshaun Watson for as much as they can. They're about to take his paycheck, and it's not because he didn't do anything. He clearly did something wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to add on to one more dumb sports thing I saw, and that's all those Cleveland Brown fans like begging Deshaun Watson for his autograph.
Get a
That is
grip.
one of the worst videos I've seen. That is
Yeah.
so gross. The fact that Cleveland Brown fans have convinced themselves that Deshaun Watson is a good person and is innocent is absolutely disgusting. That's about all I want to say. We talked
Well, I
about
will
Deshaun
say,
Watson a long time
well, I
last
mean, like, I
episode.
guess I'll just like one more thing. Like, there was a guy who's on Twitter who like just bootlicks the Cleveland Browns like crazy. Nick Carnes, I think is his name. I think I've showed some of you stuff before.
Yeah.
He went on like this whole ridiculous spelled out rant on his Twitter where he was like, "Oh, these are the reasons. Like, am I supposed to just abandon the franchise that I've like, have all the stuff in common with my friends with that I've been in love with for so long? Yes, I would seriously consider it if they continue to uphold and pay $300 million to what is someone who is clearly a sexual predator. So I guess that's where I probably would cut the line. But for you, I guess not. It's not a hard decision.
I mean, yeah, or just become a general NFL fan. Like, you
Yeah.
don't necessarily have to become a fan of another. You can still say you like the Browns. That's fine. But
Like,
just don't actively pay for things from that organization. Don't actively root for them and
yeah.
don't actively root for Deshaun Watson.
No, it's not a hard thing to ask. I mean, like, look, the Cleveland Browns, all of this would be just gone away if they just let, like, truly, if they themselves could suspend him. And I think, like, one of the crazy things come out of this too is that, like, the owner and the GM, I forget his name, the GM for them, is it
Andrew Barry.
Andrew Barry? Like, they released this statement like, oh, he's remorseful. He's not remorseful, by the way, because he
No,
continues to be like, I haven't done anything wrong. That's called the opposite of remorse. Like, he has shown zero remorse for anything that has been levied against him whatsoever. It's
it's crazy.
crazy.
It's crazy.
So it's but yeah, I agree. Cleveland Browns fans, oh, sign this football, please, please. Like, oh god,
It's gross.
it is.
All right, so you got one more, right?
Oh yeah, well, this is like the dumbest thing I saw out of sports. Just in general from recency. That would be from Marquise Hollywood Brown in Arizona getting arrested for criminally speeding. Yeah, going 126 miles an hour. 126 miles an hour is almost incomprehensible. And I don't understand why there are so many guys in the NFL that are addicted to speeding at this limit. Do they not understand? Like, I'm sure they do. They're intelligent people. How do they not understand that? Oh, if you crash the car at 126 miles an hour, you die typically. You don't make it out. Like, let's think about this. And not only that, but like, oh, wow, these Cardinal fans are like, well, it's just speeding. It was 126 miles an hour. That's crazy. Like, are you kidding me? How could you possibly be like, oh, wow, it doesn't matter? I'm like, what? It's like, God, I can't even believe it. Like, You would think anyone would learn something from the Henry Ruggs thing last year. If you're an NFL player, let's just not speed. Let's not go and let's not drink and drive. I mean, it's a whole nother subject. But speeding is such an easy thing to avoid. Why are we going 126? And it was like during 5 o'clock in the afternoon, rush hour. Why? Just because you can? Like, oh no crap, you're gonna get pulled over. Like maybe you can go 90 sometimes, but 126? You're
No,
asking for to get arrested at that point.
it's crazy. And I mean, yeah, that's just a crazy story. And especially because the Cardinals just spent like a first round pick to get him.
Oh,
Just bad.
it's
Just bad.
unbelievable. I like
That
truthfully, like think about it. You are being paid how much? And like Marquise hasn't does anything else wrong in his career that I've known of. So this is just like something you learn from it. But I mean, come on, 126, that's just common knowledge.
yeah, that's
Like
crazy.
that's insane. Like it's not only just endangering others around him, but it's clearly endangering himself. If he crashed into anyone,
Yeah.
like he's either dying himself or he's probably killing the other person in their car, which is just like that was the stupidest thing I saw. I can't even believe that that would even happen, but here we are.
Here we are. All right, so my dumbest
Oh,
sports thing of the week, it's not necessarily a take, and that's the Hall of Fame game. So
yep.
everyone's making it up that the NFL is back today. It's actually playing right now. The Hall of Fame game is the most pointless. It's more pointless than the Pro Bowl. I'm going to say that the Hall of Fame game is more pointless than the Pro Bowl. The fact that they just add on a random preseason game to like for the Hall of Fame ceremony to play where no starters play, backups play. It's like literally just third strings out there because they have to play a whole additional preseason game. It was even, I mean, I think it's still really dumb, but it was even stupider back when they had the 16 game season and it was a fifth preseason game for some of those teams. Got picked for the Hall of Fame game. I got to think in that locker room, you've got to be so mad that the NFL just
You don't want to be
bestowed that
there.
upon you.
You
I
don't
mean,
want
I guess for the guys fighting for roster spots, it's probably good to have an extra one, but
yeah.
I don't feel like that extra game is really going to make or break whether somebody makes the 53 or not. Like I don't think that really does anything. No one cares about the Hall of Fame game. The Hall of Fame game is so pointless. They need to get rid of that game or just put it as on preseason weekend next week. Just make it one of the 3 games for that team. I don't get why these teams have to play an additional preseason game. It is so dumb.
I think the thing that's hilarious about it too is I believe it's supposed to be a celebration for those players who are going to be inducted in this year's Hall of Fame. If I'm not mistaken, it's a part
It
of it,
is.
right?
That's what it's supposed to be.
They don't give a shit. They don't. They don't care if there's a game being played there. If anything, they're like, this is a waste of time that I have to attend this. I would rather be hanging out with my friends, doing something else than spending time here at the Hall of Fame game. They don't care. So the Hall of Fame game, yeah, it's a joke. I mean, I think the most iconic moment is whenever some Tennessee Titans game, like years ago, when their punter did like a fake punt and ran it for a touchdown,
Yeah.
which was like cool. But at the same time, it's like, okay, we can't probably use that in regular season now because now everyone's gonna be looking for it. So it's like, why would you break that out there?
Yeah, I don't know why you'd ever break out any innovative play in the preseason.
Oh, you should never break out an overly innovative play in preseason.
This just reminded me of a point. For any fans that watch preseason and are like, why is this playbook so bare bones? Why are they just running runs up the middle? Why are they just running simple passing on? That is the point of the preseason. You do not want your team giving up complex plays in the preseason. You can't
Exactly.
use them in the regular season then.
If I see some sort of creative play calling, I'm like, great. Well, we probably can't use that now in the regular season because they've seen it and they know the formation and what the play concept looks like. So
Especially a special
yes,
teams fake punt. Putting
yeah,
that on tape.
I know. Now it's like a big blink, like blinking light. Like, oh, they have that. They're gonna. That's what it would look like. That's what it would look like. These guys are smart. They're gonna recognize it.
I mean, I
So
guess the other thing is then you can get them like scared that like, oh, we might do a fake punt, but honestly, that doesn't do anything for you. They're just gonna rush you anyway. It'd
yeah,
be better if you just showed that you never do fakes and then break out the fake
exactly.
punt in week 8.
Exactly. I mean, it's just like I don't know. Like the preseason, in a lot of ways, is very stupid. I don't really even think they truthfully need it. But maybe like one
I
game.
don't
I
think
get it
so.
helps for camp decisions, but I mean, again, I'm biased as a Bengals fan, but I watched Joe Burrow have no preseason and operate completely fine. I would say shorten it down to a game or two. I don't think they need three. I think what they have right now is better than by eliminating a week, but you need a couple reps in a game to see things, maybe get hit once, and then you're good. But
Yeah, but all these teams do those joint practices now, which are essentially the same thing.
yeah, I mean, it's becoming more and more obsolete, truthfully, as the years go on. I mean, there's always going to be a preseason, I would assume, in some extent, but I don't know.
They should
It's a
just
rather
blow it
silly
up. I
complex at
hate.
this point. Like, I feel like
Well,
it's substantially more useless in like comparison to like spring training for baseball.
Well, the other thing about preseason from a fan's perspective is like you want to gravitate towards the players that are playing. So like you might fall in love with like this third string running back who like looked really good against the other third stringers and made the
But when
team.
he
And you're
plays
like
them,
all and then they don't play at all during the regular season and get cut by like week 4.
well, yeah, because that's always a crack up. Is like they're like, oh, this guy made the team, wow, and it's like, well, he was playing third stringers, and then they like be like, well, I want to see him in limited action in a regular season game. And he gets pancaked by everyone because he's a third string guy. Like that's why you don't see
And
him.
then he's cut by like week 6 for whatever veteran they're picking up off the street.
Yeah, I truthfully can't remember last time there was some. Well, there's obviously been undrafted free agent
I
guys who
mean,
make an impact.
the biggest one I can think of is Austin Eckler. Austin Eckler, undrafted guy, no one knew who he was, second string or second division, Western Colorado. Philip
Hmm.
Rivers didn't even know his name when he showed up. He had a double number. He was wearing number 2
Hmm.
in training camp. No one knew who he was. Ended up making the team and made an impact. Like those are the kind of stories you want to hear about in the preseason. But for every one of those, there's the countless of randos that random NFL fans can think off the top of their head, like Kenneth Farrow, who Charger fans got hyped up about for some reason, who's out of the league within 6.
Hmm. I agree. And people like it. The preseason is the king of hype and king of overreaction. That's just all it's good for. It's just to build up, bubble up, bubble up, bubble up until finally everything breathes week one. And you're like, wow, everything I was reading into for the last month and a half was absolutely unnecessary because I
Well, and
know nothing.
they get you to click on those like, oh, my projected 53-man roster. It's like, oh man, I picked this defensive tackle over this guy who I think's gonna get cut. And then the team doesn't even do that. They just do what you
Yeah.
probably projected from the beginning. There's really no surprise cuts ever.
No, I mean, I don't think there's probably ever been a time where you're like, oh, wow, a guy who's a starter for us last year has now been cut.
I mean, the best example is probably Cam Newton when the Patriots cut him last year.
Oh, yeah.
That's probably the biggest one I can think of like a
Well, he was a
real
guy who
surprise
like
cut.
people presumed he would like almost start.
Yeah. People didn't think Mac would start at the beginning of last year, so I mean, Bill Belichick was keeping that under wraps, so good for Bill. But
Yeah, good for Bill. So, but now it's
that was a
the Mac
surprising
Attack
one. But
show. Yeah,
yeah,
but yeah.
well,
Preseason overall stupid, rather dumb. Hall of Fame game, very
stupid.
stupid.
And get ready for the next month when Clark and I have to talk about the preseason because it's on TV and that's going to be the NFL news and that's what people are going to want to hear about.
Yep, seriously. Oh
So
yeah,
get
can't wait.
ready for Overreaction Monday, where
Yeah, where
Clark
you
and
have
I
to
sit here and been like, don't get hyped up about your third string guy
I
you
have to
just
sit here and
saw.
watch stupid games that look like they're filmed on a camcorder for the freaking national broadcast. That's another thing that's underrated. How crappy the broadcasts always look for preseason. That's like the signature moment. It's just like, wow, this is absolutely like the local news channels have it all. The graphics stink. The commentators are always like some off-brand dude with some former like legend of the team, and it's just like, okay, I see there's a reason why you don't call games, or something. It's just like, all right, can we get
It's
this over with?
bad. It's going to be bad. No one
Yeah.
cares about the preseason.
So,
But the other advice I have to all of our listeners is if you're playing fantasy football and you're getting into your fantasy drafts, when you watch a preseason game, don't then draft that random guy who looked good against third stringers as your last pick. You're not a genius. That person will probably not make the team. Or if they
yeah,
do, they're probably like the fourth string guy who gets like 4 snaps the entire season.
most likely. Just got to
Most
accept that.
likely. I've done that a couple of times. I'm not going to lie to you. It never works. Those
Mm.
people don't end up being anything.
A lot of people often forget the first time I ever did fantasy football. I actually took Austin Collie in the second round, and he actually almost died on the field. I think week 4 that season. He was laid out and concussed what appeared for me about a sixth time. I laid motionless. I remember being at the ripe age of 12 and being asking dad, is that man dead? Because he hadn't moved for a minute. So shout out Austin Collie. People remember him. Actually pretty good. Put up good numbers, but Austin Collie almost like died every other week with concussions. So hopefully he's doing
Shout
well.
out. Shout out. All right. Well, this has been our show. Thank you for listening. Remember to rate us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. Make sure to leave us a rating and leave us a review. Make sure to reach out to us on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. You can follow us there. You can like our content and comment on all of it. Again, we're the most active on TikTok, so that's the best place to reach us. We will probably be doing another episode of Fans Hot Take soon. So get ready for those as we prep for the NFL and into the MLB playoffs as we move into this era of our podcast. So thank you for listening. Thank you for being a part of the show. And thank you to our sponsor from SeatGeek. Remember, if you are a first time user, you can get $20 off your first order. Go see a game soon. Use the promo code From the Backseat. Thank you, everyone. Have a great rest of your day.
Have a good one, guys.